we go.
All right. Good afternoon, students, and welcome. This is week number 5, and we are talking about adulting and financial literacy. We have Coach Mo on the line with us. Before I get to Coach Mo, let me first say a few things. Thank you to all of our students who have been showing up consistently. And we're seeing the love at the end of our meetings, our workshops, and it looks like these workshops have been beneficial to you in more than one way. I mean, they have to have, because you've been showing up for all of them. So thank you so much. And we know that many of you are also taking advantage of incentives, and that's great. That's why we created these incentives. That's why we offered them, because we want to get your, we wanted to attract you to these meetings. So with that being said, let's talk about our newest incentive. I keep wanting to say incentive. I don't even know. That's not a real word. Coach Mo, just help me. So we talked about it. We had mods a few weeks ago, and a lot of you came out there, and we're probably going to do that again at some point. But what we said, you know what, instead of putting in all of the vendors and all that other stuff, we just want to give away some tickets. For those of you that are staying on with us throughout the summer, because you could be doing so many other things at 6 o'clock in the evening during the summer. But here you are. So here's the new incentive. You show up to 2 of our summer workshops. You have up till the 29th to do that. Show up to 2 of our summer workshops, and you will be eligible to receive 2 tickets. 1 ticket for you, 1 for another person. And as you can see, the 2 movies that are most popular are Space Jam and Black Widow. So we hope you go see those, but whatever you want to use those tickets for, you can feel free to do so. But 2 tickets for between now and July 29th. Or up till July 29th, should I say. So just continue to show up, and many of you have. So Colleen, we're gonna have to find some folks to give those tickets to. We got to comb through some names, but you'll get those tickets as soon as we hit July 29th. Well, not as soon, but after July 29th, we'll look at everything and get those tickets out there. All right. So in other words, keep showing up and bring some friends with you. Bring some friends with you. And thank you again for showing up, students. Without any further ado, we want to jump right into it. Coach Mo needs all the time she can, and we want to make sure that you, students, you have all the time you need with Coach Mo. You know what? You can read everything on the screen. I'm just going to summarize it by saying she's passionate about what she does. She cares about the future. You are the future, students. So please pay close attention, take notes, and give it up for Monique Coach Mo Corker. Coach Mo?
Well, hello, everyone. Hello, everyone. I am back from Dubai, and I tell you, I had an experience of a lifetime. Let me just get my slide ready. Let's see here from current slide. Give me 1 second. Normally I have this up, but I wanted to keep everything up. But while that's pulling up, so had a great trip to Dubai. It was a bucket list item for me. I definitely was scared. It was, I believe, 17 hours, a 17-hour flight. Yeah. So, guys, this is life. You know, people talk about how to live and how to explore the world. I really got to see a whole nother side of life. I had to budget. And let me tell you, learning about dirhams, that's their currency, it was interesting. Learning and knowing the difference between our dollar. So, like, our dollar exchange rate is you're a little bit more wealthier when you go there because our dollar is worth so much more money. But I encourage all of you all, even now, to start looking at foreign exchange as far as the foreign currency goes, and start studying different currencies from different places, because it's amazing. You can start learning to see where you would like to go. And, you know, my next trip is going to be Bali. I heard the dollar there to Bali, I'll be like a princess. So definitely going to go there. So go, Tron, were you saying something? I see your face.
No, I'm just laughing because you said you're going to be like a prince. You're going to be a queen there.
Well, listen, so real quick before we get started, guys, you know, we all do this Instagram hunt, YouTube hunt when you're going somewhere. And I saw this viral video of people holding these little baby tigers, baby panthers, all these little cute cubs. And I'm like, oh my gosh, that I have to do when I get to Dubai. Come to find out, that is the royal family's animals. So the only way you're gonna get to do that is be invited. And my girlfriend who traveled with me was like, "How do we get on the guest list?" I'm like, "Girl, that's the royal family. You can't just walk to the castle and get it's huge." But anyways, wanted to share that with you all. Put it on your bucket list. Budget. You're gonna have a great time. I hear that everyone had a great workshop last week. I'm glad you all enjoyed the credit presentation. There's a couple of things that I wanted to go over today before we get to what I promised everybody. We will have our Jeopardy session today, since this is the last workshop for Adulting and Financial Literacy 101. But there's some things that I didn't get to cover last week, so I'm going to make sure we go through them right now. And the first one was just reviewing a basic paycheck stub. A lot of you all will, be working, or you are working. And often a lot of our youth, you just may start getting direct deposits and you just don't even look at your paycheck stub. So I want to make sure that I'm encouraging you to keep up with your hours. For one, you will be surprised. Companies make mistakes, so if you're getting a direct deposit and you don't know whether you worked overtime or you kept up with the overtime, how are you checking that against your budget or your balance? So make sure you are paying attention to your pay stub. And this is a slide that Colleen liked. I wanted to make sure I brought it back up because it's very important as we talk about, adulting and financial literacy 101. This payday circle of life is unfortunately the programmed mental state of a majority of people everywhere. We all get paid and we feel awesome. We feel good. You're a millionaire. You have no problems in the world. So of course, what do you want to do when you get paid? You go and you treat yourself. You say, everything that I wanted, I'm going to go get. And you feel rich. No longer, I'm not cooking any dinner. I'm not eating any ramen noodles. I'm literally going to go out to eat. And then something kind of hits you, that word called intuition. It actually comes and hits you and it says, I think I need to stop it and slow down just a little bit and be responsible. And then you say, oh, no, you know what? I'm going to get paid again in 2 more weeks. So I'm going to go ahead and buy those shoes because that's what I want to buy. Hold on. Sorry, guys, that's my Luna. I have a big boxer and she's in here about to bark. So yes, you want to buy those shoes and you can buy them because you think about, I'm getting paid again. And then you look at your bank account and you're like, what happened? Where did all my money go? And now you're back waiting to get paid again. And we continue to do this cycle over and over and over again. And unfortunately, the younger you are, so when you start working at this young age, you're already incorporating that type of mentality if you think about it. So I want to encourage all of you all, if you have a job right now, and if that's how you're feeling when you get paid, I please encourage you to start changing that first arrow that says you're a millionaire to you're a budgeting millionaire. Because if you budget, you can still feel like a millionaire, but you won't be living paycheck to paycheck. We also wanted to make sure I reminded, what should you do when you get paid? You want to always make sure you pay yourself first. Often we think about the bills that we owe, and we know Uncle Sam is going to take his money first. Like, it comes straight out of your paycheck stub. So they obviously realize the importance of paying themselves first. So you should also do the same. Put some of your money away from your paycheck into your savings account. Make sure you have your budget or your spending plan. And most importantly, we talked about this way back in the beginning of the workshops. Know when to say no. All of your friends are not on the same page as you, and they're not going to have the same goals and desires as you. And we talked about the rule of 72, and starting early is what allows that rule of 72 to really make sure that you get the biggest bang from that investment time. So you're going to have to learn to be the one to say, I didn't budget for that. That's something that I just can't attend. And guess what? I've got a lot of friends who took different routes when it came to their money. And I'm the one still suffering because they knew how to say no. So I wish someone would have, encouraged me to be able to say no to certain things that I never thought about budgeting for. And I just wanted to be with the it crowd. You want to hang out, you want to do things, but if it comes to the extent of you being broke or you not managing well, learn to say no. Pay your bills after you pay yourself. It's you yourself first, you're your first bill, and then whoever else you owe, and make sure you have always looked at them from your budget or spending plan. You're going to do this because you're going to have a learned behavior of managing your money. You'll manage your money better. I tell people all the time, people can manage and budget $20 so much better than they can manage and budget $300 or whatever a bigger amount is. We know how to budget once you're down to the smallest amount of money. So let's try to change that mindset and start budgeting as soon as you get your money so that you don't have to worry about ever, not having enough when you need it. Okay. Save money towards your goals. Go to Dubai. I loved it. Pick a bucket list trip, something far. Improve your standard of living. You're going to have a better mental mindset when it comes to less stress if you just do the forward work ahead of time when it comes to your money. Always have money for emergencies. As an adult, okay, that's the number one issue that a lot of adults do not have. Most adults do not even have 1 month's paycheck saved up for the event of an emergency. And that's a problem because emergencies always happen. So make sure even right now as you're in school or graduating, you start thinking, okay, if I got a car, what happens if the tire blows out? That's an emergency. Do I have a car maintenance emergency bucket, that I should start putting $5 or $10 in every time I get paid so that it won't hurt so much if that happens, okay? So real quick, as far as your paycheck stub goes, before we get into it, I want to make sure you just understand the difference between your gross income and your net income. So your gross is exactly what they told you your hourly or salary pay would be. If you're hourly, you're going to get paid by the hour, meaning if you work 8 hours, your paycheck stub should say 8 hours times $10 an hour. If you were hired as a salaried employee, your paycheck stub will not have an actual set amount of hours, or it may reflect the hours, but it will be a set amount every time you get paid. And I encourage you to look at those things because some people want to be promoted as young as you all are. I know all of you all are smart and intelligent. You may get promoted to a management position, like an assistant management position, and the company may say, this position is salary. Sometimes you have to think about the difference between being salaried because you're going to sometimes work way more hours for less pay. The reason being is because once you're salary, you don't get overtime pay at all. So I like to make sure I encourage you to know the difference between, the salaried and the hourly positions that are available in the economy. But your take home pay is what's considered your net income. So your net income is everything that is left over after everything else has been deducted out. This includes your taxes. This includes your Medicare, your Social Security. If you have any type of insurance that you decided to elect to come out of that check. So we're going to look briefly at a paycheck stub so that you can kind of, get an idea of what we're talking about here. So as you can see on the screen, I don't need to go over the one, the two, the two. Those are pretty simple, but you want to pay attention to them to make sure your company is doing what they're supposed to be doing and paying you the correct way. When you fill out your original W-9 form, I believe that's what it's called. I haven't filled out one in so long. W-4 form. Is it W-4? Yeah. W-4 form. W-9 is for the other one. You'll fill that out and you'll claim how many independents. So normally that should just be one for you. If it's not, you can always speak to the human resources person or the manager and they'll help you fill this out. But that's important because That is how your dollars are taxed by the government. So if you look at number 5, you have where it shows your rate of pay. That's your regular earnings, okay? And then it also shows holiday pay. That will show any type of incentive pay, bonuses, commissions, overtime. All of that should go in that section. And you should always have a year to date towards the end. Now, the year to date is important to look at your paycheck stub, because when the end of the year comes, if you're making over, and don't quote me, I'm not an accountant, but I believe it's $12,000 or more, you should be filing taxes, or at least speaking with your parent or guardian on how you want to look at your independency when it comes to filing taxes, because you are making over $10,000. Okay. But that line number 6 is just exactly what it says. It's the gross pay. So there's nothing taken out of that dollar amount yet. That is normally what every institution qualifies you for when it comes to a loan. Don't ask me why, because it's not a real number in my opinion. But you're going to be a savvy, smart, money-minded person. So you're not going to even look at that gross pay to learn how to budget. You're going to look at everything where it gets down to number 14, which this person had 0 on this net because they had a direct deposit going into their checking account. So, I just wanted to make sure you all saw a paycheck stub and you could look at it. And if you have any questions before we move on to it, I want to open it up before we move on to identity theft and fraud, because that's the last part of our workshop. Are there any questions on paycheck stubs? Or we went over what your routing number is, so you'll know how to get those earnings direct deposited. Are there any hands or any? I can't see the chat, so.
No hands raised yet. No. Oh, hang on. We do have a hand up.
Okay.
Okay. Huguette, go for it, Huguette. Unmute.
Yes. Hi, Coach Mo. Yeah, I have a question. So basically, some companies don't use the typical paper paycheck anymore. They mostly use the virtual platform. So would you recommend that the employees check that platform frequently as possible?
Definitely, Huguette. I'm glad you mentioned that. As companies, small companies, and they are great to hire our young people. So everyone can use any type of payroll. You may not see this traditional ADP. ADP is a pretty standard payroll company, but some people may pay you with a standard check. And you need to know how to calculate your hours versus how much you were told your pay rate is. So whatever method you're being paid by, don't be afraid if even you've been working there and you just not paid attention to it. Just ask your manager. Hopefully they're in a mentorship mentality that they'll help you understand what to look at when it comes to either virtual paycheck stubs, or whether they're paying you by paper check, because sometimes on a paper check, it'll just write the pay period beginning and ending on there. So you may not know how to calculate. The goal here is just to make sure you're empowered to ask those questions. You never want to work, okay? Hear me out very clearly. You never want to work for anyone and not truly know how you're supposed to be getting paid. Your time is priceless, so you need to know exactly what your end of, your 2 weeks or your biweekly or your semi-monthly or your weekly pay should look like. But that's a great question you get.
Thank you.
All righty. So since there are no other questions, I know you all talk about this, but as a part of adulting, I just cannot pass the opportunity to remind you, are you ready for college? I am a strong advocate for college, but I'm also a strong advocate for any type of vocational opportunities as well. Because listen, my husband owns a trucking company and they make great money. So always keep yourself open. But if you're planning to go to college, I want to make sure that you are focusing on taking your SAT and ACT as early as possible. Do not wait until the last minute. Do not wait until your senior year. I know we've got some, kids that are probably already, at that level, but, if anyone are on here, or if you have younger siblings, this is the time for you to encourage them to take those testings as early as possible. And I tell you this because it's a test that gives you a lot of anxiety, because for one, it's a test that you're not familiar with, and it's a test that can either make or break you getting certain scholarships or entryways into certain colleges. Tron will tell you, I don't mean to tell on my daughter, but you know, she's in the 9th grade, and I just had her take her SAT. She took her ACT in the 7th grade. And the reason I did that is because I wanted her to be able to say which testing platform did she really like the best. Now she can know how to study going forward to try to get better grades, to get more opportunities for scholarship funds. And I know Tron is like, yes, we are all about scholarships, and making sure you just, you know, you don't leave any free money behind. Okay. So that helps you not meet that $1.6 trillion debt number that we talked about many weeks ago. If you start preparing and thinking about, this is going to affect me as an adult. If I don't do these things, how much money am I going to end up owing because I waited and didn't focus on the means that could help basically, help me obtain more money? I see you coming in, Tron. Go ahead.
I know you saw me. So let me add one other category on that list: dual enrollment. Dual enrollment.
Yes.
Let's add dual enrollment on there. And students, you've heard us talk about it. 10 seconds. Here we go. Free college courses. While you're in high school, you're taking college courses. Tuition is no cost to you. Fees are no cost to you. Books are no cost to you. It's free, all free. The only thing you need to do are meet the eligibility requirements, 3.5 GPA, take tests, whether it's ACT, SAT, PERT, meet those test scores, get the dual enrollment recommendation form from your guidance counselor. And if anything, when you think dual enrollment, think guidance counselor. They're your go-to for everything. But I just want to throw that out there too.
That's awesome. Yes. And it's a way to save money. I mean, at the end of the day, the goal is, like we said, to not have to spend more money than you need to. So briefly, we cannot do an adulting financial literacy one-on-one workshop without talking about identity and fraud. We're in a world that you just have to be so careful. And I have to go over these things with you because, we all have friends. And I see it all the time. You give your friend your debit card, and, you give your friend your PIN number, or we're in love and we give our partners our PIN number. And no, okay. No, that's a no. You do not give anybody your PIN number. You do not give anybody your card. It's a big no. And we'll go over why in a few moments. All righty. Protecting your identity. Okay. Your information is usually safe, okay? If your information is in a financial institution, because by law, there's certain regulations that protect you from having your information spammed out to other people. Now, you can do what's called an opt-out form, okay? If you don't want your information being sold to different companies and organizations, that's important for you to know. And it also goes with when you click on any website. And now, I don't know if you all have noticed, but people are making sure that you get that pop-up that says, do you allow cookies? And here's our privacy statement. The reason those things are important is because those are gateways into your personal information. Understanding when you go to websites and they don't have a HTTP lock at the top of the interface, normally those are not what they consider, but by way of Google interface and other types of, interface infrastructures, they're not as safe and secure for you to put your debit card payment information in. And they're an easier way for people to hack and steal your information, okay? Identity theft is growing. It's a growing crime, and people are definitely always trying to find the next way to rob and steal from other people. Do not fall victim for, this is the famous one that I always see in the bank when I was actually running a branch, and I just couldn't understand it. But I guess when you're, desperate or you get excited, you know, you get these publisher clearinghouse things, or you get someone that sends you an email and says, hey, you know, we've got a job for you, but all you have to do is give us $200 for you to now get paid $5,000. You will be surprised how many people literally will give the $200 because in their mind they feel people are honest. And no, I hate to be the bearer of bad news. These people are depending on your lack of knowledge when it comes to those quick get rich schemes of transfer me $200 and I'll flip it and give you, you know, $1,000. As my mom always told me, if it sounds too good to be true, y'all know the rest of the saying. Normally it is. Law enforcement does the best that they can, but the bang of the person who needs to be the most responsible is you. You are responsible for protecting your identity, because once it's out there and it's been damaged, it takes years and years and years to fix. And no matter whether you tell them I'm a victim of identity fraud, you know, you may have to apply for a whole new social security number and things of that sort. So I'm explaining this to you because your social security number, your date of birth, your address, all of these things are ways that people try to put together who you are to be able to use your information. Okay. Invest in a shredder. A lot of kids are not taught to invest in a shredder. They're $30 on Amazon. Get you a shredder, because once you turn 18, you're an adult. So certain information that you'll have coming to you is classified information, and your parents are no longer probably shredding that information for you. So your school documents, your school ID information, anything that has something that should be personal and kept to yourself, you want to make sure you invest in a shredder. Okay. We said don't give out your personal information. Make sure you check your credit report each year. This is once you turn 18. There's not going to be anything on there before 18. Nothing should be reporting yet. I said shred your financial papers. So a lot of you all possibly opt out for paper statements, which we're saving the trees. So that's good to do. So you may not have that information to shred, but make sure you're still checking your bank statement. Please do not rely on your app only. I'm going to say that one more time. Please do not just rely on the balance on your app to know whether or not you've been hacked or anything, because you all can go Google it. There was a guy who, you know, stole millions of dollars from people just stealing a penny. He stole a penny from multiple accounts. Who really pays attention to a penny? Well, if you're looking at your actual transaction history because you budgeted and you keep up with what your dollar amount should be, you would know if somebody took a penny. But people didn't catch this guy because a penny is so small, you know, it went unnoticed and unseen. Do not open spam emails that you're not familiar with. Be careful with apps that you open that are not trusted on your phone. Once again, these are all gateways that could possibly help, you know, put you at risk when it comes to your personal information that can ultimately take money out of your account or use your card. My husband just was actually a victim of it, and they went to Home Depot, and you know, we don't even know how it happened, you know. But because we have alerts, we saw they went and, you know, spent like $3,000 twice in Home Depot, and they booked a trip. The good thing is, of course, most banks, you call your fraud team, your fraud department, you report it right away. But the problem is, a lot of people have given their PIN numbers to so many different people. You got to be careful, guys. This is why it's important. That is protected information that no one else should have. Don't visit websites, where people email you that you don't trust. Some quick checks, fraud schemes, guys. Do not cash other people's checks. I'm going to tell you can. Certain banks will allow you to do what's called a two-party check, meaning the person would basically, we talked about endorsing checks. They would endorse the check over to you, and then you would sign on the check now, and you're now responsible for the check. I encourage you to tell the person that may ask you to do that, you need to go open your own bank account. If you're getting checks, go open your own bank account, because you want that stuff to stay separate, okay? Because there are a lot of check fraud, and even your friend may not know that someone could have given them a bad check. You just never know. Wire fraud is really, I had an example, and I knew it was too good to be true. I'm going to give y'all a personal story, and then we'll get to the Jeopardy. I had some gentlemen, they came into the bank, never had seen them before, and they wanted to withdraw $9,000. Now, to most banks, we know anything under, right between $9,000 and $10,000, we're already questioning, because anything over $10,000, we have to report to that you're withdrawing that much money for tax purposes as well, and because we want to make sure there's no fraud going on. But they came in, wanted to withdraw the money. I looked at the account. I'm like, okay, wow, they had just got a large wire. So now as a banker, we're allowed to ask questions, where did this wire come from? All these questions, they were able to answer it. So of course, you have to give them their money, but you're going to report it as a suspicious transaction. Next thing we know, banks communicate. So we're communicating to all of our other local branches saying, hey, here's a suspicious alert. If these people come to your branch, it may be time to kind of stop the withdrawals, because now things are getting, people don't get a wire and just all of a sudden start coming in, taking out tons of money back to back, especially at different banks, if that makes sense. So be careful if all of a sudden money comes into your account. If you know it's not your money, do not spend it, do not touch it. And that has happened. I know you all have seen it on the news. People wake up and see a large deposit in their account. That is technically not your money. When you sign your bank account, you do sign an agreement that if there is, an error of that type of, transaction, the bank does have the right to take that money back from you. Also, identity fraud. Don't leave your driver's license around with people, because guys, listen, I trust people, but I trust them as far as I can see them. It's easy for someone to just take your student ID, your driver's license and give it to a friend who may be paying them $200 for ID. Okay, this is how serious this gets. Then we also have credit card fraud, okay, where people are going in, they'll call all their friends up to the gas pump because they stole someone's credit card, and they fill up all of their friends for a certain amount of money. Just never, ever, ever, if someone says, hey, you can come get gas, I got a card, what your answer is going to be? No, I'm good, because Coach Mo taught me to budget for my gas, so I don't need that type of get rich or quick scheme to do those kind of things. You also have boosting, where people, go in and steal. These are all types of fraud schemes, email schemes, and then once again, third-party check fraud. So I'm going to end there. Did you have anything you want to add while I'm getting the Jeopardy set up?
Yep, it's not necessarily fraud, but it ties into schemes. I know you mentioned schemes. Students, beware. There's a lot of pyramid schemes floating around there. And a lot of these pyramid schemes target young individuals because they figure you just don't know any better. I remember being in college, there were a ton of pyramid schemes, and I guess what's the best way to describe a pyramid scheme, Coach Mo? It's somebody that creates the scheme at the top and then finds others to buy into their scheme, but it's just a continuous flow of money that rises to the top of that pyramid, so to speak. So to whoever creates that pyramid, they just keep getting all the money. Is that right? That's kind of the best way I can describe it.
Yeah. Hold on. So oh God, I thought I was still on mute. Yeah, definitely. It's going to only benefit the person at the top. So, you just want to make sure, like I tell anybody, if it just sounds too good to be true, it normally is. So I don't know why that music. I'm going to move to the next screen. Y'all hear that? Oh. Well, I did promise you all Jeopardy. We've got 30 minutes. So I'm hoping that our participants, including the adults, if there are any adults on here, you can definitely unmute, call out a category. I want to kind of make it easy. So if we could just go in order, this is the first time I'm doing Jeopardy virtual. Normally I would put people in groups. But if we could just start from needs versus wants and just go straight down and keep going forward, we can go ahead and start the Jeopardy game. I think it's going to be fun. I'm sure you all will know the answer. And even if you don't, remember, this is a safe place for us to have fun and learn together. So who's going to be my first Jeopardy contestant for needs versus wants for $100? Come on, don't make me call names. I don't want to be like the teachers.
I can go.
Okay, all right, so who get? Let's see here. Needs versus wants for $100. So a popular term that is used to help control excessive wants is A, expenses, B, punishment, C, delayed gratification, or D, income. I think you're on mute.
I'll go with C.
C. C is the correct answer, delayed gratification. Awesome, awesome. So who wants to go next? Needs versus wants for $200. All right, we got Hubert. Tron, can you maybe help me? I don't know if other people may have their hand.
Yep, I was just going to call on Hubert's name, but his hand is raised. Hubert, you got it.
All righty. So needs versus wants for $200. Part of making a budget requires you to blank, which means knowing where your money went, because many people spend without knowing where it went. So out of this, that would be A, increase income, B, keep track of daily spending, C, decrease spending, or D, determine expenses and income.
Keep track of daily spending.
Very good. Yes, yes, yes. Woo! I need somebody. Where's our there we go. Yay. Okay, Colleen, you be the cheerleader. All right, so we got needs versus wants for $300. Come on, we got some more people. Who wants to go next?
Okay, Caillou, your hand is raised. You got it.
All right, Caillou, let's see here. Needs versus wants for $300. A rule that displays a way to save that is based off of compound interest is what? A, the rule of 50, B, the rule of 42, C, the rule of 92, or D, the rule of 72. I think you're on mute, Hubert. Wait, who was that? Caillou, and I'm sorry.
Go with A.
A. Almost, really, really close. And guess what? That's okay. It is the rule of 72. So the answer for this one is the rule of 72. And guess what? Coach Mo is not good at math. So, this is one that's a little difficult. But the rule of 72 is learning how to divide the interest rate so that you can see how quickly your money will multiply. All righty. So great job. Thank you. Thank you. We're going to go now to needs versus wants for $400.
Can I try?
Of course. So needs versus wants for $400. How much should you try to pay yourself first for savings? A, 50%, B, 15 to 20%, C, 35%, or D, 0%?
Is it B?
B, very good. Yes. B is 15 to 20%. So very, very, very good.
And that was Kayla.
And remember,
thank you, Kayla.
And remember, this is just, a range. You're going to come up with what percentages work best for you. But this is a part of the 50, 30, 20 rule, or just what some people like to say they save as far as their budgeting goals. So there's no right or wrong answer for that. So we're moving on to the next category, doing good on time. We got bank on it for $100. Bank on it for $100.
Jody is ready to go.
All right, Jody. Bank on it for $100. Why should you put your money in a bank? Choose two options. A, low cost. B, it's cool. C, it's secure. D, you should keep it in a sock drawer.
C.
C. So pick the other one. Got one more.
A.
Got it right. Low cost to keep money in your bank, and it's secure, okay? And the reason it's a low cost is because your money is not only secured, you can get it replaced if something happens to it and it's stolen. So that's a great way to think about getting your money back. Great job. Let's move to bank on it for $200. Who do we have next? And I think we have 28 people. So definitely, if you didn't get shirts, and I know I owe some other people shirts. I'm sorry, I just came back, but I'll get everybody on here shirts that are participating. So
we have Brandon up next.
All right, Brandon, bank on it for $200. True or false? With a savings account, you can have multiple withdrawals. This is a tricky question. So with a savings account, you can have multiple withdrawals. True or false?
True.
Okay, almost. It's false. So a savings account, remember, is there to help us have to save money. So you don't want to have multiple withdrawals in a savings account because they'll treat it like a checking account. So let's go back to maybe, I think, session 2, where we talked about a savings account. You're allowed to have 6 withdrawals each month, okay? Checking accounts allows you to have multiple withdrawals because that's what that type of account is there for. So great job. And listen, I know it's hard to remember some of this stuff because it was so far back. All right, so we got, wait, where was I just at? Okay, sorry. So we got bank on it for $300. Bank on it for $300.
We got Mark Cunningham.
All right, Mark, let's see. Bank on it for $300. What card goes with a checking account? Is it a credit card, a store card, a debit card, or an ATM card? This one's a little tricky, so let me see if you can get it right.
And Mark,
C.
There we go.
I'm sorry, you said C?
Yeah.
C is correct. Here's the catch. Of course, D can also go with a checking account. So you would have gotten it right if you would have said C or D. Great job. Bank on it for $300. Let's move on to bank on it for $400. Who's next? Am I making a good, wait, who's the Alex, rest in peace. I want to be a good female version of Alex Trebek.
Alex Trebek, you're doing a great job, and Alex is smiling on you. Maya's up next. Maya.
Maya, we got bank on it for $400. So what kind of fees can you be charged in your bank account? A, maintenance fees. B, overdraft fees. C, excessive withdrawal fees. D, all of the above.
D, all of the above.
Great job. You got it right. That is awesome. So we finished our bank on it category. So we're going to move on over to check it out. So this is about checks. So check it out. Who wants to check it out for $100?
I can try.
Come on. All right. I can't see who that is.
Oh, I'm Rayanne.
Hi, Rayanne. All right, let's go to check it out for $100. What is it called when you sign the back of your check? A, an autograph. B, an endorsement. C, a stamp. Or D, a sealer.
I'm definitely not gonna pick A. I'll go with C.
C, it's close. So the correct answer is B. It's an endorsement. Whenever you sign the back of your check, you're endorsing it with your signature. So great job. And let me tell you all something.
Thank you.
You're very welcome, Queen. Let me tell you all something. Here's one thing. Guess what? You'll never forget that now. That always happens to me. I'm going to tell you all, and you all better not tell anybody, even though this is recorded. When you don't think about $1 million, the numbers, you know, how many zeros, and then billion, and then trillion. I could not figure out a billion on an assignment. I'm sharing this with you all, but guess what? I started studying, how many zeros. So I share that to say, guys, this is a fun game. Don't feel any type of way if for some reason you don't get it right, because I guarantee you'll remember it going forward. So we've got check it out for 200. Who's going next for check it out for 200?
Oh, Elizabeth. Elizabeth is up.
All right, Elizabeth, check it out for 200. A checkbook contains, now this one is a little tricky, so you can get it right with two answers. A checkbook contains a pen, a calculator, deposit slips, or withdrawal slips.
Deposit slips.
Very good. So this is one that I did not actually go over, so I want to just take a second. So checkbooks, even though they're pretty ancient, people still use them, people still order them. They will come with deposit slips and withdrawal slips inside of the checkbook itself that already has your account information on it. So if you remember those little counter tickets when you go in the bank and you need to make a deposit, if you have a checkbook, you don't have to fill all of that out. You could just pull out a deposit slip, go up to the teller, make the deposit if you're walking into the bank. I mean, most people now take a picture of their check, from their mobile app, or they use the ATM. Withdrawal slips are also included. So great job. Great job. So let's move on to check it out for $300. And we're doing good on time. I'm paying attention. 6:46. Check it out for $300.
Okay, we have Jency. Jency's got, okay, Jency, you're up, and then Mark, you can take the next one. So Jency first.
So Jency, check it out for 300. Which line determines the amount of the check? We did go over this. Is it A, the number box, B, the legal line, C, the verbal amount, or D, the signature line?
The verbal amount.
The verbal amount? Okay, that's close, but let me ask you a question. So if you wrote Coach Mo a check for $300, right?
Yeah.
Do you want me to go to the bank and say, she told me I could get $3,000? That's the verbal amount. You gonna be like, I didn't tell you get $3,000, Coach Mo, right?
Yeah.
So it's okay, Queen. So the correct answer for this one is B, the legal line. It's always what's legally written out on that legal line. So that's important for you if you get a check or if you give someone a check, for you to always check the legal line. Great job. All right, so let's move on to check it out for $400.
All right, and Mark, I know you had your hand raised earlier. You can answer this one if you want. And I think Swan, you had your hand up at one point as well.
All right, so check it out for $400. We just went over this. You can cash someone else's check. True or false?
True.
True. But Coach Mo told you what?
It's also not a good idea as well.
There you go. Great job. Great job. So we have finished check it out category. So let's go to show me the money for $100. If we already have someone trying, just say their name because I can't see it for some reason.
No one yet, but I think Swan had her hand raised. Okay, Huguette, you got it.
All right, show me the money for $100. You should pay yourself A, second, B, third, C, fourth after your parents' bills in school, or D, first.
D.
Very good. Always pay yourself first. You are the most important person to yourself. If you don't take care of yourself, can't rely on nobody else to do it for you, okay? Show me the money for $200. Who do we have next?
Okay, we have Shy. Shay. I hope I'm pronouncing that correct.
All right. Shy. Show me the money for $200. Name one of the two ways that you can save below. A, buy an investment. B, put money in a wishing well. C, budget a certain percentage towards savings. Or D, put it in a piggy bank and use it to buy sodas.
C.
C, very good. Now, there's another catch to this one. You could also buy an investment, and that can save money in the long run. I know it sounds odd, but buying an investment that could triple your money is also another way to save. Great, great, great job. So
Coach Mo, every time I see the word wishing well, it makes me think about that song from the 90s. Remember, I'm dreaming on a wishing well.
Wishing.
Okay, all right. Sorry, guys.
You're
Sorry.
showing your age.
Absolutely.
Okay, sorry. So we are at Show Me the Money for $300. I think we need to all vote, how we want to see Colleen, Tron, and Mo do our Bridge to Life TikToks. We got to do a dance. We've got to get on something. So
Oh, you can
Show Me the Money for $300. Who do we have next?
Okay, there's a few who haven't gone yet, so we're waiting on you to step up to the plate.
There were
Thank
two
you.
hands raised before.
Swan's up.
and
Swan's
Kayla.
up.
Yep.
All right, Swan. So Show Me the Money for $300. Ooh, this is one of Tron's good ones. When you get approved for a student loan, you should take the max loan amount because it's deferred. True or false?
False.
Correct. You don't want to take the max loan amount if you don't need to. And that's how they get you right there. You'll have extra money. It's out of sight, out of mind until you cross and walk the stage. You'll get that email in no time saying, hey, your payment's going to start. Okay. So never take out the max if you don't need to. Great job. So last one in Show Me the Money for $400. Show Me the Money for $400.
Kayla had her hand raised earlier. Kayla, would you like to go?
Yeah, I can go, no problem.
All right, Kayla. So finish the equation. Gross income minus deductions equals what? Remember we talked about, so once you get paid your gross income minus your deductions, you're left with what?
For taxes. No, not taxes, but net income maybe?
Very good. You got it right. Good job. Your net income. Awesome, awesome, awesome. All right, so we are done with Show Me the Money. We're going into It's Your Credit Protected. So listen, I want all y'all to answer this one if you all were on last week's, because this is the session that Mike D and David Kunick did. So I hope these are pretty easy. So we've got It's Your Credit Protected for $100. And this is also identity theft in here as well. So It's Your Credit Protected for $100. Who wants to go? We only got 4 more.
Jency had her hand raised. Oh, sorry.
Perfect. Nope, go for it.
All righty. So identity theft is a blank crime. A, growing. B, minimal. C, slow. D, non-existent crime. Which one is it? I think you might be on mute. Oh. Does anyone want to help them out?
Okay, Brianna, you got it. Go for it.
A, growing. Correct. Awesome. See, teamwork is the dream work. So It's Your Credit Protected for $200, and anyone can help each other out. So if you all get stuck, that's when we want your team to come in. Do we have anybody for It's Your Credit Protected for $200? I think I saw somebody.
Gen C.
Gen C. Okay. It's Your Credit Protected for $200. To protect yourself, you should give personal information to your friends or others. True or false?
False.
Very, very good. All right. It's Your Credit Protected for $300. I think I saw somebody with a name that started with a B that had their hand up, but I can't see it anymore on my screen.
Brianna had her hand up before. No one has their hands up now that I can see, but we do have some others who haven't gone yet. So feel free that we're almost done. I would answer the questions, but I get them all right. So, I want to give you all the opportunity.
Ooh, purr.
Jody Cunningham.
All right, we got Jody. It's your credit protected for 300. Name a way you can start to build credit. A secured credit card. B, use your transcripts. C, an authorized user. Or D, you can't build credit. So this one, you got 2 answers in there. I'm gonna give you a hint.
Okay. Can I choose A?
You can definitely choose A, secured credit card. Does anybody else want to help choose what the other one is on here though?
Sure.
Anyone else?
I'll go with B.
B?
Yeah.
No, you can't use your transcripts to build credit, but you can become an authorized user on someone's account to build your credit score. Okay. Great job. Great job. So let's move on to our last and final Jeopardy question. It is 6:55. I hope you all kind of enjoyed. This is my way of, kind of recapping without sending you a boring, checklist or questionnaire or whatever. It's your credit protected for $400. Our final Jeopardy question.
And we have Kayla's hand is raised.
All right, Kayla, let's take us on home. Who are the 3 credit reporting agencies? A, Exami, Equinox, TransUnion. B, Equifax, Experian, TransUnion. C, Fannie, Sally, Experian. Or D, TransUnion, Sally, Exami.
I think it's B.
Good job. Listen, you all did an awesome job. I can definitely tell you all that I have enjoyed working with each and every one of you for the past couple of weeks. I really hope that the information that has been shared will at least help open up your mind to, having a better money relationship and make you be curious about how you can live the luxurious life that you will deserve, because you will have a positive relationship with your money as you become an adult. Thank you. I appreciate everyone. That's it for Mo.
All right, so Mo, before you go, hang on a second. Students, I need you to do me a favor. Mo, put your Instagram in the chat. We want students to follow you. Everybody on here, and by the way, you're getting the praise, and we didn't even ask for them to do it. They're doing it on their own. You guys said it was fun. Thanks, Coach Mo. We have Rayhan. I always mispronounce the name. Thank you so much, Coach Mo. I learned so much from you, your meetings. I appreciate it. Okay, so Coach Mo just put her Instagram in the chat. It's at girlbu, and that's B with 2 E's, girlbu. So make sure to follow Coach Mo on Instagram. Do that right now, everyone. And of course, Colleen, you know what's coming. Make sure to follow Bridge to Life on Instagram at Bridge to Life SFL. Make sure to follow us on Instagram, guys. Please, we're doing our best to share this content with you via Instagram updates, reminders. Anytime somebody anytime someone posts something interesting, we're reposting that. And you have an opportunity to look at your peers. For the most part, we have your peers creating this content. So we're sharing that stuff. The really cool TikTok thing that we saw earlier with the guy doing I'm trying to do my thing, but I don't know if it's so that's on Instagram. So make sure to check that out. Thank you again, Coach Mo. All the love is pouring in. Coach Mo, do me a favor, put that Instagram in there one more time. We'll put our Bridge to Life Instagram in there. If you are new, if this is your first night, thank you for coming out. We greatly appreciate seeing you there. I think there's 1 or 2 new names that I haven't seen before. So continue to join us, continue to come back and support. And we have so much more summer programming coming up. Coach Mo just put her Instagram in the chat, so make sure to follow her.
So I put 2 because I know some of my guys may not want to follow Girl BU because that is more of a girl program, but you can also follow HRB _360. That's our nonprofit for everyone. So if you don't feel comfortable following all the girl stuff, you can go to that one. But I just wanted to thank you again, Tron. Thank you again, Colleen, for thinking about the kids and including, this component into your workshop for life skills, because I'm telling you, I know my life would be different had I had some of this, growing up myself. So thank you for remembering to include this for them.
You're welcome. You're welcome. We do it for the youth. These were ideas and topics that they came up with, subjects that they wanted us to cover. So we found the subject matter experts. And thank you, Coach Mo, for recognizing us. Thank you, Colleen, for putting all this together. And Colleen just made a great point. Make sure to follow Coach Mo on LinkedIn if you haven't, or connect rather with Coach Mo on LinkedIn, because there's a difference. So if you have a LinkedIn account, don't hesitate to connect with Coach Mo, connect with myself, Colleen, Bridge to Life. Stay connected is the long answer short. All right. I think that's all we have for tonight. Colleen, am I missing anything that we need to discuss, that we need to cover?
No, I think we're great. A huge shout out to Coach Mo. We love her. She is the queen. I hope she shares the slides and the pictures from Dubai next time. We got to see. And I
was on a camel, guys, and I didn't know the camels talk like that. Like, I don't think the camel was happy, but yeah, it was interesting. Tron or Colleen, can you make sure you get, I guess, everybody that was on this last workshop? Because I have the list of the last week people I owe shirts. I want to make sure they all get shirts that attended this last session if they did not get one already.
We will get the list. And would you like mailing addresses as well?
Sure. Yep. Send it to me. I'll send it out.
Okay. That's awesome. That's huge. That's wonderful. Thank you, Coach Mo. We love you.
Thank you so much. All right, students, the Instagram links or the Instagram URLs, for lack of better terms, are in the chat. So feel free to follow us. That's it for tonight. We have more summer programming. And Colleen, feel free to take us away with the biggest hit record this side of Broward County.
All right, let me pull it up. All right.
Because it's the best choice. I heart BC because it's the best choice. I heart BC because it's the best choice. It's the best choice. It's the best choice. People of diversity, equal opportunity. Let's inspire a generation to create unity. It ain't easy to get a top degree. Your education will get you the top pay degree. Here at BC, we united by one love. People so good, you think they came from above. Break out your shell, go and hit the clubs. Don't be the reason TLC made scrubs. You can learn a lot, meet new people. See how we're all different, but still equal. There's so many doors like in the Matrix. All of our duties take you back to the basics. We are world changers. We are difference makers. We are future leaders. We are world changers. Look, it's a plane, not to see hard, man. Soaring higher, looking for new goals to attain. This school is filled with people young and old. They are all young, living stories untold. On the road to riches, so there's no washing dishes. Ready for them quizzes, they gotta handle business. With the future state of mind, you gotta let it shine. Go and take your time, don't get pushed over that line. Next step, influence the world around you. We are Seahawks, we bleed white and blue. And we fly high like planes over the sea. You already know, I heart BC. BC is a place for you and me. We got a dream to be a team that makes change in the community. No failure, we have immunity. I heart BC, it's the best choice. I heart BC, it's the best choice. I heart BC, it's the best choice. It's the best choice. It's the best choice. We are future leaders. We are world changers. Go and break it down. Change the choice. It's the best choice.
We are world changers. We are difference makers. We are future leaders. We are world changers.